he went through a period of being very jealous of anyone who sat in a group listening to me, because he didn't have it that easy. It wasn't fair. And he had to get over that. You've got to do the work. It appears that this weekend the theme is about your doing the work. So, like her daughter, you are venturing.
Painfully, I might add.
Okay, but don't complain about it. Yes, painfully. That's okay. It's okay to stretch and risk the chance that you're making a mistake, but with a willingness to do it that keeps a balance in your mind, so that the scariness of it or the discomfort of it doesn't cause you to lose sane perspective. That's a very key point.
Can you say that again?
No.
I do believe I have it, however. Have to think about it.
The work doesn't have to be painful, but the work which involves the breaking down of old confidences and old habits always involves the enlarging of the boundaries of your tent and embracing territory which the tent hid from your sight before it was expanded. And the embracing of new territory seems scary because you don't like to play in the unknown. But it isn't because it's really scary. It's just that you have a habit of trying to maintain tininess and stay in the known. So you have to be willing. And you have to own your willingness. If you can blame the failure on somebody else, if you can blame any failure on somebody else, you may know that you did not bring your full willingness to it.
I'm doing this on my own, all by myself. No.
Yes. And if you had it to do over again, you would do it all over again.
Actually, I would.
Yes. Your willingness and your commitment is still fully present. So when you do it, you don't complain because it's hard. You just keep staying in the equilibrium of your willing decision, and from there you take your best next step, one after another. And you don't whimper and whine about it. Or if you do, try not to do it too long. Because in the whimpering and whining, you're not staying with the project, so to speak. And you're not present to see what's needed or isn't needed. And if it isn't going to work out, you will not, and you're in the middle of whimpering and whining, you're not going to be where you can see, yes, this isn't going to work out. Yes, it's not appropriate for this to work out. Yes, this says nothing about my having made a bad choice. Yes, it's about me at this point recognizing what is appropriate, and then me at the next point recognizing what is appropriate, and staying with the wave or the movement of your unfolding being with the potential of being able to enjoy the ride. Now, this is a real pep talk that I'm giving you here. I understand that you could cry from having heard this pep talk. You know, it's wonderful to go to church on Sundays, especially in a New Age or metaphysical church, where many wonderful, inspiring, lovely words are said. And you can come out of the building afterwards and float through the rest of the day on the wonderfulness of what you've heard. But you know what? And I'm not putting that down. But what you really need to hear is what allows for change to occur and what helps you bring commitment from within yourself to put behind the change and not keep the hunky-dory status quo going. And you need to learn not to be afraid of the work. Which means to not be afraid of being a more social person, not to be afraid of letting the mantle of power transfer from you to your daughter's shoulders, even though it's going to be some work and it will be awkward. Because the key to your success lies in what I'm going to call your pure willingness to make commitment to the unknown. Your pure commitment, meaning you're doing it for your very own reasons. When you do something for your own reasons, you can get behind what you're doing fully. When you're doing something out of obedience, it's very difficult to put yourself 100% behind what you're doing because it was somebody else's idea that you're getting behind. You can't die, and your presence is whole. It's the only essential thing there is, and there's nothing outside of it. No matter how much stuff you can lose, And no matter how complicated and ugly the loss of it can seem to be, no matter what you've lost, you haven't lost anything. Nothing essential. And because the essential you will still remain, all the stuff can be replaced. And maybe you won't replace all of it. Because some of the stuff you have now, you have because you think you're not whole.
There is some truth to that.
Some of the stuff you have makes statements about you that bode you well. Some of the things you have because they say you're a success. They confirm to you and to others something that's not true.
Now,
Let me finish. They confirm to you that you're whole because you have them, and that's a lie. You're whole before you had them and after you lose them. That's what needs to be very clear, and that's what I'm homing in on with you. Because all that is essential is right there where you are, regardless of the things. Now, you can say what you were going to say.
This took a nasty turn and I wasn't preparing, but you did right.
You didn't come here to hear truth, Ron.
But what I'm telling you is the thing that will allow for transformation to occur that won't be disastrous for you.
I have it. No, and you're dead right. I consider myself pretty centered and growing, but I can see from your answer I've got some growth to do yet. Quite a bit of growth to do yet, actually.
Well, you don't know how much, so don't build too big a case against yourself.
The longer you're quiet, the more he says it is.
How glorious to know that the point at which you've arrived is not the ultimate, since it isn't all that pleasant at the moment. It's wonderful news that there's more growing to do. It's wonderful news that the tent can get even bigger. It's wonderful to know that there's more of the kingdom of heaven to see, and it's waiting for you to see it. It wants you to see it. Because it's really the more of you there.
Wow. Because it's pretty good the way it is. And if it can only get better, I mean...
You were almost crying as you described the way it is in the beginning.
Well, you have to understand my emotions come in and out. One minute I'm up and the other minute I'm down.
Yes.
It depends on the bank account these days.
That's what the ego suggests to you, and that's the way the ego yanks you around. But it tain't so that your bank account says anything meaningful about you. It doesn't tell you whether you're a success or a failure. It's just a record of flow. You know what? If you lose everything, you won't die. And you won't starve to death. A lot of people say, yeah, I know, I'll just be there to suffer. But the point is, you'll just be there. Leave off the to suffer part. You'll still be there to be the place where the ongoing manifestation of life and intelligence and potential can occur. Wow. All that's essential to experiencing the fullness of life will still be there. Well, then what's at risk right now? What's at risk right now? Not a hell of a lot. And if nothing is at risk right now, you can look at what's going on right now with a more balanced and intelligent perspective and make better choices about what to do each step of the way. And that's the point. That's what you needed to hear today. That's the healing truth that allows further revelation to occur that blesses you, in spite of what you hoped the answer might be.
I wanted you to tell me I was going to make $1 million.
I'm telling you, you don't need $1 million, and when you finally realize you don't need $1 million, you'll probably have it. But as long as you think you need $1 million, I promise you, you either won't get it, or you'll get it and you'll find out you didn't want it that way.
And I've been there. That is true.
Well, learn from your experience.
I'm a slow learner.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you. We're going to take a break. Okay, hands. The lady on the end here. Where's the microphone?
Hello. Hi, Raj.
Good evening.
You were speaking earlier about teenagers, and I was here at one other gathering, and I shared that my 18-year-old died in a car accident, and that was like 16 months ago now. There's a part of me that knows, in the big picture, there's no accidents, but the part of me that's like the human mother, I also have his younger brother is 17 now, but I'm trying to think of how I want to say this question. Number one, it seems like I'm always wondering or struggling with what I did wrong as a parent. I think he was an exceptional being, and when he died, he had alcohol in his system from drinking quite a lot the night before. And another boy was in the car that died. So I didn't know that other family, and now I know them, some. It's not real comfortable, but I've tried to reach out and let them know how much I care. And I spoke at my boys' high school. The senior class this year would be in between my two sons' ages, right? So someone approached me and asked if I would speak about drinking and driving. And it was difficult because it brought up a lot of the whole thing, you know.
Yes.
But it felt important, and I felt like when I spoke to the kids, I really was connecting with them, and I wasn't shaming my son, Carl, that passed over, or the children there, the young people. But did I do something wrong? That's what I want to know.
Absolutely nothing.
Because it feels like it.
That's just an indication of what kind of a friend your ego is to you. It is not a friend. And it would have you overlook every wonderful, thoughtful thing you ever did.
And I don't care about that part. I mean, what about the part that I didn't do?
You were not responsible in any way. You were not responsible in any way. Your ego may make it difficult for you to hear that, but it is the truth.
Well, what's also true, I mean, is that I feel like my son Carl that died was my oldest child, and his birth was like birthing me into parenthood. And that was like the greatest thing. And somehow I feel kind of crazy. It's been nice to be here today because I feel birthed by him and his passing into like something again. And I'm really grateful, but I don't know. Now I have a 17-year-old, his brother, and it's like, it's kind of a cosmic joke because it's like, I don't know. I liked being a parent.
But you know what?
What?
You won't be a parent forever. You won't be actively engaged in parenting forever.
That's okay too.
Yes. What happened was a matter of his choices. And there's no way you can be responsible for his choices.
But he was a good person. I mean, I feel like he made a mistake, but then I don't believe there's accidents either. I mean, did he want to leave here?
It was the furthest thing from his mind. No. And he's having to live with the result of his choice, just as you are.
But he's not unhappy, I hope.
No. No, he's long past being unhappy. In fact, he's been a little quicker on the upbeat than you have.
Well, I'm glad for that. That matters to me more than what I'm going through, so.
The loss of a child is not easy. But you know what? One of the things it's doing is it is grounding you in the experience of your unlimited capacity to love. Mm-hmm. It's revealing to you the boundlessness of your love. Something else all of you have the opportunity to learn more completely, and hopefully without having to experience the loss of a child. Don't undermine the learning that occurs from the experiences that you have by sidetracking yourself with some sense of personal responsibility for what has happened. When it hasn't been your fault.
I feel like I've been appreciative and I'm growing. I know I just miss my son here physically.
Exactly.
And as long as he's not really regretful of his life ending at 18 years old here.
Well, you see, he has the advantage of realizing that he didn't end his life.
Right, and I'm glad. Then I feel fine. It's just, I miss him. That's it.
That's okay.
Thank you.
And when you are feeling your love, and you are remembering all that was meaningful, and it's difficult for you, I want you to know that you are being tenderly ministered to and loved by the Father and by your guide and by those who are working with you. You're not alone in it. You will always miss him, but you will not always feel the grief. And you will find that your love for him that you feel will be able to be felt and extended to him without it causing great sadness for you. This will come.
I've felt that on occasion since his
Be
death.
gentle with yourself. Be patient with yourself. Be compassionate with yourself. And endlessly give yourself the benefit of the doubt. Endlessly. Okay. This is why I talk to you through Paul, because Paul uninhibitedly conveys with his voice, with his face, with his motions, whatever the meaning is that I'm conveying, from compassionate tenderness to kicking ass. Because it is important for you to know that the Christ